of Nigeria, if we are Abuja. So watch then this video from this our brother Kono Noro if open concerning irrelease Mazen Nnamdi Kanu and irrelease Mazen Nnamdi Kanu gets reduce with tension and iwu for Barana happen on the southeast. Watch the video.
Well, Deputy Speaker, you were instrumental to the passage of the Southeast Commission bill as the main sponsor. Also, the House Committee on the Southeast Development Commission has held its inaugural meeting and where you appealed for President Tinubu to release Nnamdi Kanu, the IPOB leader. How significant is his freedom to the development of the Southeast? Is his current situation largely responsible for the unrest in the region?
Let me start by saying, without, sounding out of point, that the president truly has answered the title we gave to him. On the 29th of December 2023, we gave him a title in Igbo land called Enyi Ndị Igbo, which means the friend of the Southeasterners. When we flag off the Peace in Southeast project, he was represented by the Vice President. He was given the title Enyi Ndị Igbo, the friend of the Igbos. And he has proven that he is worthy of bearing that title, because successive governments have come and gone. Nobody, looked into the concerns of the Southeasterners and the promise made to them 54 years ago by the Gowon administration, promising reconciliation, promising rehabilitation, promising reconstruction. That was not kept. But this president, the friend of the Igbos, took it upon himself, put his feet down and said, this promise must be kept. And it will be kept through this particular proposition of the bill that I presented before the parliament as a platform that we use to reconstruct, to rehabilitate that particular zone. We are very grateful to Mr. President. And I will not stop being grateful, because I knew how many times this appeared before the parliament without getting a nod. And now he did. The Igbos are happy. It is our duty now to let them know what is going to be the impact of this Southeast Development Commission in the lives of the Easterners. Now, talking about development, you cannot develop any area without the presence of peace. In Nigeria, we say peace, unity, progress, which means where there is peace, you can bet progress. In the Southeast, there is a problem, insecurity. And many people causing the problem are alleging that is because of the incarceration of Nnamdi Kanu. Let us remove that excuse out of the basket. And that was why I appealed to Mr. President when I inaugurated, on behalf of the Speaker, I inaugurated the Southeast Development Committee in the House. I appealed to the Commander-in-Chief, because you can't coerce him. You can't force him. You can't use noise to bully the president to do anything. And this is the message I've been sending to my people. Let's quieten the zone and appeal for a political approach, not just the legal approach. It has been done severally. And it could be extended to us if we appeal to Mr. President.
So
and
what you're saying, Deputy
of my
Speaker,
people in the federal government.
Yes. With what you're saying, will there also be another agitation for the release of Simon Ekpa, the self-acclaimed leader of Biafra?
No, I'm busy now. Simon Ekpa is not in Nigeria. He's wherever he is, and I'm talking about Nnamdi Kanu. If we release Nnamdi Kanu, it's going to help to calm the zone better. It's going to help the police and the security agencies face squarely those who are claiming they are agitating for Nnamdi Kanu. It's not everybody in the Southeast that is doing that, but those elements who are causing all these criminal action, hinging it on Nnamdi Kanu, which is not the truth. Because I've been with Nnamdi Kanu in the prison. I went to see him. And he said, if Mr. President is able to sign this Southeast Development Commission, it means that the Biafra we are looking for is close to us. It means that the Biafra we are looking for, that is the good road, the good hospitals, the bridges, the seaport, and all the rest of them, they're going to come closer to us. And that when he's out, he will join the Peace in Southeast project to support the peace that we all want in the zone. And he told me that he will fight squarely those who are causing the mayhem in the region. So it's not about Nnamdi Kanu. Some of them are just leveraging that his incarceration and begin to cause harm to the people of Southeast. And we want to quieten the area so that the development that is intended by the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria will have its root in the region without anybody truncating it. So that is why we are appealing, so that this development effort of Mr. President will not be, affected by any of all these people who are using the name of Nnamdi Kanu to cause harm to the people of Southeast.
Nigeria has an Igbo problem. There is a secret memo in government that whenever we want to take charge in this country, be careful of the Igbo. Don't give them position. Don't give them opportunity. Otherwise, they will over. For an Igbo man to survive in Nigeria, as it is currently put together, Nigeria must break.
Wait, the meeting you had with Nnamdi Kanu.
Yes.
You are telling us now that Nnamdi Kanu...
Don't you know what happened, the called pogrom in this country, where people were slaughtered and their bodies and their heads placed inside the train going down south? Even our parents.
Wow.
Tell us, Igbo, in 2024, detaining Nnamdi Kanu against all the court orders, against all the court rules.
What I have been fighting on social media right from time, because the average dumb Nigerian people is that when you said, I want Nigeria to separate, I want a referendum, I want this, I want that, the first thing that comes to their mind is that it's a treason to say that. Shame on you, shame on your thinking. And I wonder so many times the kind of schools people are going. Imagine someone who is a graduate will come to tell you that agitating for your self-determination is a crime. Just imagine. Anyway, his lawyer wrote, during my investigation with Nnamdi Kanu yesterday, he made it abundantly clear that while he is deeply appreciative of the efforts and the widespread calls being made by well-meaning individuals and groups to secure his release, he, however, instructed his legal team to issue the following clarifications. These are the clarifications Nnamdi Kanu issued. So it is 5. We are going to follow it one after the other. Don't miss anyone. Now, number 1. The matter of the release of Nnamdi Kanu is not an act of mercy, pardon, executive clemency, or even amnesty. Instead, it should be an act of simply complying with the subsisting federal high court judgment that declared his detention as unconstitutional, or even the Eastern International Tribunal decision that separately declared his detention as unlawful. Nobody should be begging Nigerian government for my release because I committed no crime. Nobody should be begging Nigerian government for my release because I committed no crime. Nnamdi Kanu, he's back at Benjamin Kanu, the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives. How many of you remember this video when Benjamin Kanu granted this interview on TVC News Lagos? And he said, and I quote, that the region of the Southeast need to be calm and the people need to go and beg Tinubu for Kanu's release.
Now, talking about development, you cannot develop any area without the presence of peace. In Nigeria, we say peace, unity, progress, which means where there is peace, you can bet progress. In the Southeast, there is a problem, insecurity. And many people causing the problem are alleging that is because of the incarceration of Nnamdi Kanu. Let us remove that excuse out of the basket. And that was why I appealed to Mr. President when I inaugurated, on behalf of the Speaker, I inaugurated the Southeast Development Committee in the House. I appealed to the Commander-in-Chief because you can't coerce him. You can't force him. You can't use noise to bully the President to do anything. And this is the message I've been sending to my people. Let's quieten the zone and appeal for a political approach, not just the legal approach. It has been done severally. And it could be extended to us if we appeal to Mr. President.
So anyway, what he said was not bad in his own idea, in his own opinion. But here is Nnamdi Kanu saying that nobody should be begging the federal government of Nigeria for my release because I did not commit any crime known to law. Anyway, the issue of the adoption, the kidnap, and the court process of Nnamdi Kanu is so complicated that if you can spend your time and study everything that transpired up to today, you will do nothing but just to say that Nigeria is a crime center. Okay, because Nigeria is leveraging on the crime they committed against humanity by sending soldiers to go and kill people in his house, and they killed a lot of people in his house, of which the Supreme Court had said that the Nigerian government committed a crime. Now, secondly, he was kidnapped from Kenya, of which the Supreme Court has faulted the Nigerian government for kidnapping him. So, on which basis are these people trying Nnamdi Kanu? I think this is what Nnamdi Kanu is trying to, the message he's trying to pass to the Southeast politicians and everyone in Nigeria, that listen, no court in the normal circumstances has jurisdiction to try me based on what has transpired before now. And that is why you could see that a whole federal government that has literally all power in their hands, this year is making it almost 11 years. They started trying Nnamdi Kanu. I said 11 years, I did not say 11 months. But they have not been able to find this man guilty. Why? That is a question that we are going to discuss at the end of this video. But for now, let us go through this article. Now, Sarah Reporter published this, that the detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, has clarified that he did not send anybody to beg the Nigerian government for his release. This was stated in a release issued by the head of his legal team, Aledgely Esquire, stating that Kanu's release is not a matter of mercy or pardon, but rather a matter of upholding rule of law. Kanu's release is not a matter of mercy. So this one is not in what is it called? In Latin, we call it appellate ad misericordia. That is, you appeal to pity. Oh, let's pity him and leave him. So now the Kanu is saying, my release has nothing to do with begging somebody, because if they said I committed a crime, all right, let them try me and let them jail me for over 11 years. They have not found anything, incriminating against me. The only thing they said that Nnamdi Kanu uses Radio Biafra. Radio Biafra was in London and is still in London. If Radio Biafra is committing crime, I think United Kingdom supposed to arrest Nnamdi Kanu. But they couldn't, because there is no crime known to law that he has committed with Radio Biafra. Anyway, that is part of it. Now, let's continue with the article. It reads that, record that Benjamin Kanu, the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, recently appealed to President Bola Tinubu to temper justice with mercy and give freedom to the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, from detention. Kanu had made the appeal after the inaugural meeting of the House of Representatives meeting on the Southeast Development Commission at the National Assembly Complex in Abuja. The Deputy Speaker had commended the President for his support and commitment towards peace, development, and stability of the Southeast region. He noted that the President, since assuming office, had in various ways proven his love for the Southeastern and through his speedy assent to the Southeast Development Commission bill, which failed in previous assembly. Out of the article. Now, Benjamin Kanu, as you know, is a politician, so he speaks political languages that people will see not to be very important, like saying that Tinubu loved the people of the Southeast. As far as I'm concerned, if Tinubu loved, Nigeria, Tinubu loved people in Nigeria, the best thing anybody can do for Nigeria, at least minimum, just minimum, is to make sure you return Nigeria to regional government. Or make sure you amend the constitution to include a referendum. That is the minimum thing you will do for this country. Because this country is not going to work again. So that is just the minimum thing you can do so that everybody will go and solve their problem. Yes, everybody knows how to deal with their issues. Now, let me continue with the article. Say, however, Kanu's legal team clarified that the Federal High Court already declared his detention as unconstitutional, and the International Tribunal decision has also deemed his detention as unlawful. Nigeria is a crime center for violating the whole international rules, violating the rules of their courts, violating everything that they call rule of law, because the person in detention, his name sounds Igbo. Anyway, don't misunderstand me. I know what I'm talking about. Now, it continues. Therefore, Kanu's release should be a straightforward matter of complying with the law. I read it again. Therefore, Kanu's release should be a straightforward matter of complying with the rule of law. So it has nothing, absolutely nothing to do with mercy. Releasing Kanu is not a thing of mercy, okay? But it is complying with the rule of law. Buhari is one of the most dangerous human beings on earth who committed crime against Nnamdi Kanu and against a lot of people. His administration was found sponsoring terrorists, doing everything, and where are they today? And that is why I am telling people, everything you are doing today, just remember, it is not going to last forever. So every power you have today trying to cause pain to your people, it's not going to last forever, okay? Now, the article continues that the IPOB leader also stressed that he had committed no crime and that his detention was a result of the Nigerian government's attempt to criminalize his right of self-determination. And that is what I have been fighting on social media right from time. Because the average dumb Nigerian people is that when you said, I want Nigeria to separate, I want a referendum, I want this, I want that, the first thing that comes to their mind is that it's a treason to say that. Shame on you, shame on your thinking. And I wonder so many times the kind of schools people are going. Imagine someone who is a graduate will come to tell you that agitating for your self-determination is a crime. Just imagine. Anyway, his lawyer wrote, during my visitation with Nnamdi Kanu yesterday, he made it abundantly clear that while he is deeply appreciative of the efforts and the widespread calls being made by well-meaning individuals and groups to secure his release, he, however, instructed his legal team to issue the following clarifications. These are the clarifications Nnamdi Kanu issued. So it is 5. We are going to follow it one after the other. Don't miss anyone. Now, number 1. The matter of the release of Nnamdi Kanu is not an act of mercy, pardon, executive clemency, or even amnesty. Instead, it should be an act of simply complying with the subsisting federal high court judgment that declared his detention as unconstitutional, or even the extant international tribunal decision that separately declared his detention as unlawful. Alternatively, the decision to free him from detention and discontinue his infamous prosecution can be made by simply resorting to the constitutional provision that empower the Attorney General of the Federation to discontinue any prosecution on the directives of the President. This is number 1 thing Nnamdi Kanu is issuing. It's like a directive, a warning, telling people that this is this. Okay, number 2, Nnamdi Kanu is adamant that nobody should plead or beg anybody on his behalf because he has committed no crime. Self-determination, which is the real issue that got twisted to suddenly become a high crime, is an inalienable right guaranteed under the laws of Nigeria, the United Nations, the United Kingdom, and Kenya. Thus, the perverse and unlawful criminalization of the exercise of the right should not unwittingly be encouraged through some misguided appeal for pardon, clemency, or mercy. Thus, releasing Nnamdi Kanu is not an act of mercy or pardon, but an act of abiding by the rule of law. 3. Inasmuch as those calling for his release are sincere, their calls for pardon or clemency may be misconstrued as a green light to the executive branch or even the courts to violate the rule of law by continuing the subject, Nnamdi Kanu, to a prosecution or trial that does not comport with the tenets of the Constitution and Nigeria Treaty obligations. Number 4. Instead of begging, those desiring his release should emulate the language and tact used by Afenifere, Ohaneze World Igbo Congress, ranking members of the National Assembly, American military veterans of Igbo descent, ambassadors for self-determination based in America, the international community, and a host of others who have made it clear that Nnamdi Kanu deserves to be released because he has committed no offense known to law. If truth be told, it is Nigeria's executive branch which extraordinarily redemption Nnamdi Kanu that should show contrition for resorting to extraordinary redemption, which is a state crime under international law and the common law. If any begging must be done, it should be directed to the courts to conduct his case and that of IPOB with the utmost impartiality and adhere to the rule of law, equity, and good conscience. And number 5, the last thing Nnamdi Kanu is letting people to know is that, most importantly, Nnamdi Kanu sincerely thanks everyone working assiduously towards the restoration of security, tranquility, and good order in his beloved Igbo land. So this is the end of the article. Let me know what you think about this. But for me, I understand the point that Nnamdi Kanu is resolute. I've never seen someone so straightforward, so focused on what he wants, and so on and so forth in this life. He is not even being shaken by his detention. So, as I told you people yesterday, one of the reasons of the continued detention is just to make people forget about him and to break the man. But unfortunately, it's not everyone you can break. It's not everyone you can silence. And that is the case of Nnamdi Kanu. Let me know what you think on the comment section. I am Okocha myself, talking reality out of issues.
Nigeria has an Igbo problem. There is a secret memo in government that whenever we want to take charge in this country, be careful of the Igbo. Don't give them position. Don't give them opportunity. Otherwise, they will over. For an Igbo man to survive in Nigeria, as it is currently put together, Nigeria must break.
Wait, the meeting you had with Nnamdi Kanu.
Yes.
You are telling us now that Nnamdi Kanu.
Don't you know what happened, the called pogrom in this country, where people were slaughtered and their bodies and their heads placed inside the train going down south? Even our parents.
Wow.
Tell us, Igbo, in 2024, detaining Nnamdi Kanu against all the court orders, against all the court rules.